Oh,
And
there
we're
we
back.
are.
Yeah.
Supposedly. Now we'll see if the
Live
audience
in
comes on.
Oh, let me pull up my chat here, see what I can
Yeah,
see.
I don't know what this show would be like without the last minute weekly scramble that fixed something that broke for no reason that then fixes itself for no reason, but I would miss it if it went away.
Yeah. I'm just glad it's not me, right? As
Yeah, so
as the guest appearance, it would be really sort of embarrassing. It's like, oh, hi, I'm here. I'm not working it.
We take turns, as it turns out. Usually I think it was my week.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, the person that had it the worst is Christine, who's normally able to join us, but lives in Houston.
Oh,
yeah.
And it's not going well in Houston right now. She does have power, but that's about it. And I guess texting, because that's how I was talking to her. But she says that her parts of her neighborhood don't have power, so she has several neighbors living in her house right now.
Right.
So
it's the whole thing of she looked at the Whataburger scale and found out that that's how she knew she had power.
Exactly. That's what they've been using. That sounds about right for Texas. All right, there we go. They're on. Look,
I got some stats happening.
There it is. Yeah, we're working on it. We're working on it.
Good advice.
I should have done it 4 years ago.
We're chasing the money here. That's what's
happening. Exactly. Well, supposedly anyway. Yeah, John, I don't know if you have the story about this, but we started on Twitch during the pandemic because they had said recently that they were going to switch to non-video game content. I'm like, oh, great, let's get it on the ground floor of that.
Right.
And then they said, never mind.
Yeah. Oh, well.
Oh, well. So, yeah.
What an anomaly.
I was hoping one of my kids would want like a summer job, like flipping us over, but no takers.
Yeah. Right. Well, gotta work it somehow.
Yeah, I guess. So anyway, but anyway, I'm glad you could join us because, like I said, it's been kind of weird. Everybody keeps like coming in and dropping out because of hurricanes and stuff.
Well, I live in Ohio, and Ohio doesn't have bad weather at all.
Never
mind that we've had more tornadoes this year than I think that we've had in any previous year. I don't know, something has happened to the weather over the last 20 years. I don't know what you would call it. It's a whole new phenomenon that I don't think anybody's noticed yet.
No, nobody's explained it or given us a warning. I literally today was watching, a friend of mine sent me, it was Carl Sagan testifying in front of Congress in 1985, basically saying, you know what, we should really get on this because it's going to be a problem.
Maybe later.
Yeah, it'll be if I don't do anything long enough, it will be officially somebody else's problem, and that's always been the way.
It kind of works, but when you're a politician, it's like kind of your job. We got a dissenter here. Is another Ohioan somehow got in here. Says that there's always been tornadoes. I'm guessing, I'm inferring from that.
Oh no, he's talking about the was it 1974 79 tornado that really tore up Zenith. Yeah, okay. No. For the folks who don't know, that was sarcasm. I'm well aware that Ohio has always had a history of tornadoes. Literally, the year we moved in, like the first couple of months we were here, they were like, "Oh, you should go to your basement now."
Yeah.
I was like, "Is that going to be a regular thing? Because I need to make my basement a much nicer."
Yeah, if we're gonna spend a lot of time like Dill did.
They don't put that on the listing. You live in Tornado Alley. They don't put that on the listing.
Well, no, they just did they just I think it was just did the new thing where they're like, oh, Tornado Alley now your county is directly in it. Yeah. Congratulations on being the eastern frontier of what is now officially Tornado Alley. And we had earlier this year, we had one tornado that was right down the street, and then there was one that just basically skipped over our street and hit the United Brethren Church at the end of the road. So
what were they doing? What's up with those guys?
I don't know. God had some opinion to express. So
yeah. Wait a minute. What's going on there? Yeah, and then the eclipse hit your house. I mean, you've had it coming and going, man.
Yeah. No. Well, this is actually the really cool thing. I didn't know when I moved to Ohio like 24 years ago that the eclipse would be literally right over my house. But I have to say it was definitely a benefit, except for like all these people showing up. They're like, we're going to come to your house and do this thing, whether you want us there or not. So we were obliged to have a party.
Yeah, everybody's coming. Yeah. Well, then Dill moved into the path also. So we had backup.
Yeah. So it's weird, John. The first year I lived here, we had a tornado hit our house and knocked down trees. And then we had the full eclipse as well. So I feel somehow connected. We're both in the same alley.
I feel that bond. No, it was what was really nice, and not to like thump on Texas again, because
no, please, it's fine.
God knows Texas has had enough going on, but we invited a whole bunch of people, and there were some people who were like, we know about Ohio in April, and so we're going to go down to Texas where they're going to have clear skies. And so literally the week before the actual eclipse, it was nothing but clouds and rain. The day of the eclipse, it was beautiful. And then a week after that, it was clouds and rain. And all of Texas apparently was socked in, And I can't say that I didn't text some of my friends who ditched me for Texas and going, how's that eclipse handling? How's it going? Looking real good where you are, huh? Here's ours. So I may be a petty little dude.
That's fine. It's totally fine. It's totally fine. No, I like crapping on Texas. In fact, we can kind of kick it off by crapping on Texas. That's actually the lead story.
Take a big old crap on Texas. Woo-hoo.
I mean, they're doing it to themselves, really.
That's a country song right there.
It is, yeah.
Oh, look at that.
Hey.
In southeast Texas is crippling power outages and heat turn deadly.
Yeah, well, I mean, they really made a big deal about making sure that they had their own power grid, right? And that almost all of the state was not attached to the rest of the national power grid. And I understand that is a Texas, we do things for ourselves sort of thing. But if you are going to have your own power grid, you should kind of make sure that it works.
Well, and every time it breaks, too, they roll articles like, okay, this time we fixed it, guys. We're good to go. Nothing's going to take this thing down. And then the next thing happens.
Right. Well, I think part of the contributing factor at the moment isn't they've got all the Bitcoin and AI farms down in Texas right now. And that's just like sucking all the energy down from the people who want to use it to, look at Netflix and live and have what is that stuff they called air conditioning, right? So there's some of that as well.
Yeah, it's super hot in Texas because it's after March. And so it turns out if you don't have air conditioning, you die. So that's why half of Christine's neighborhood's living in her basement right now, and she doesn't have internet, which it sounds like it may be a while because that's not really the priority when you don't have power or. No, I guess they got cellular service back. So but that's where she is. She's living in a hellscape apocalypse run by the what are they called? The crap, I always forgot right now. The why am I blanking?
Well, I don't know. It's because you're live. That's
probably it. Yeah. Well, it is an anxiety. I drank too much last night. And
the story. It's not anxiety. It's merely a.
No, my brain just don't work anymore.
But I think that was the point. It's like they fry in the summer and they freeze in the winter. They know that this is the climate of Texas. And, here's the thing is that there's no reason not to live in Texas if Texas is the place you want to be, but you should actually, be able to prepare. I don't know. I mean, if I were in Texas, I think the first thing that I would do with all the savings that I get from no state tax for, sales tax or whatever it is that they've got, is I would immediately if you had to stay in Texas, because the guy from Ohio, is it that much better? But if I had to stay in Texas, I would get solar. I'd get solar and a whole stack of batteries so that when it went down, because it's going down as soon as it gets too hot or too cold, at least I would have another 8 hours to, plan before everything shuts down.
Exactly. Yeah. So, well, I guess that's Christine's happy she's got power, but no internet means she can't join us today. So, but anyways, Texas is living in a hell of its own making. I feel like that's every week, but the details just changed.
Yeah.
NATO is losing patience with one of its members, and it's not who you think. Well, who is it?
It's this guy, this one guy.
It is one guy. That is the whole of Canada, and it has such lovely hair.
Yes, it is. That's the Prime Minister of Canada. That's Trudeau.
Yeah.
Kentucky's extremely attractive. Yeah.
I remember when he was first prime minister many years ago, and friends sent me the picture of him like doing like like he was boxing and stuff like that, and they're like, he's so hot, and I'm like, yes, but that is not a viable system of government. So
no, yeah, true. And it's also a low bar when you're talking about politicians because not many of them are. Yeah. So one of the things that, well, I mean, there's a million things in the news, and we don't normally do politics, but I like this because it's weird. Is that Trump has been making a lot of fuss about making NATO members pay their fair share. Now, in the past, they kind of haven't. I kind of get it, and they have caught up. I mean, this isn't really a thing to be upset about. He really just wants to give the Ukraine to Russia.
Right. Yeah. No. No. Everything is a mechanism for just let them keep the Donbass and Crimea, and But the simple fact of the matter is, any excuse you can use to be like, well, if Canada's not paying their fair share, or if Poland's not paying their fair share, they're not putting in their 2%. Therefore, we should carve up the eastern of Ukraine like it's the Sudetenland, right?
Give some other country to these guys because that.
Yeah. No. So no. Everything is an excuse to do something terrible when you're Donald Trump.
Yeah. So forget the fact that the argument may or may not have any merit, because it sounds like almost everybody's caught up, except for two members. One is Belgium, and Belgium's like, oh, sorry, we haven't had a functional government in 2 decades. We'll get around to it. And they really haven't actually. Like I think they finally got an elected government, but they went 5 years without a parliament.
Right.
And it worked so well, they started to question whether or not they needed one.
The thing is you've got a sufficiently advanced bureaucracy. Then what do you need a legislative arm for? You can just let people run their things.
Yeah.
This is not a great idea. I don't actually think this is a fabulous idea, but
if you're Belgium, maybe it's okay. I don't know. Well, apparently the other country who's really dramatically late is Canada, who has decided that they don't need much of a military either. And they keep asking them, like, so when are you going to catch up on your NATO dues? And they're like, oh, no plans, really. Which the problem with the NATO charter is it says you have to pay in, but there's no penalties for not doing it. I think Canada's like, all right.
Right.
Cool.
Well,
are they going to kick them out?
Yeah.
I mean, even if we did, it's like,
it's the equivalent of the group project where one person is doing all the work.
Right. Yeah.
And then there's Canada on its phone. Come on, Canada. Get off the phone and contribute.
Let's do it. Come on, Canada. Pull your own weight. You bastards. Flappy-headed bastards.
Well, let's just annex them.
There we go.
Paris mayor vows to swim in the River Seine next week despite pollution concerns ahead of the Olympics. They're calling it pollution now.
Yeah. Well, so we actually had, this is a redux from a story about 3 weeks ago when, so I finally, in reading this, all the details kind of came together. I had all the pieces, but I wasn't. So apparently what happened is that 3 weeks ago, the mayor of Paris had agreed to swim in the River Seine because I think some of the Olympic events are being held in it, and it's full of poop. Is the problem. It hasn't tested for safe levels of bacteria in maybe like a millennium. Yeah. So the Paris mayor had decided that she was going to swim, and I think that she got Macron said he was going to do it too. They're both going to swim in the Seine, but then somebody called for an election to get out of that.
Now we know why the French elections. It was absolutely not political, gamesmanship on the part of Macron. It was, I don't want to go swimming.
They didn't want to go swimming.
I don't want to get pink eye in a terrible way.
So Katie's back on. She's going to do it next week. But so what was funny was part of the reason we were covering this was because of this. So this is from 3 weeks ago.
Oh, what's that say? Parisians threatened to poop in the Seine River to protest sewage contamination ahead of the Paris 2024 Summer Olympics.
That would be a way to protest the sewage contamination by, in fact, making sewage contamination. But
it's very French. Here's their official website, by the way. I'm not going to translate it to English. You can kind of tell. That's how you say, let's go take a shit in the Seine in French.
Oh, man.
You guys are wondering, they have this great hashtag up here. Now the countdown clock is over because they were going to do it on June 23rd, but they had elections. And then today, the mayor of Paris said, okay, now I'll go swim in that. So I was like, all right, are we back on? Let's see here. So I want to go check it out on Shitter. And yeah, sure enough, they're already starting to talk about it again. They're like, oh man, let's do it again. Everybody go shit in the river quick.
I mean, poop rivers are now kind of the rage in Europe. The the general continent, not the political entity. I mean, because isn't apparently the Thames River at the highest level of sewage that it's been in decades, and it's directly related to Brexit? Or
I think it's safe to assume that all of them are. Although it sounds like the Hudson River's doing pretty good.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm not swimming.
We have the White River over here. It's got bodies in it too.
Though. So is that a problem, or can you just swim with them?
I wouldn't go swimming in it.
I mean, the bodies can be used as a flotation device.
Yeah, okay.
Right. Some of them.
Next time they crash a plane into it, you've got.
Yeah, there you go. I wouldn't go swimming in the Seine. I was in Paris in 2019, and it's beautiful to look at. But just as a general rule, I think any river that courses primarily through a metropolitan area, there's just I don't care how much effort you put to clean it. There's stuff going on there that they're not going to be able to control for because people are terrible.
Yeah, it's a river. A lot of people live there.
It's not just Paris. This is not let's dump literally on the French.
Literally,
it's like any river in any metropolitan area. Just don't be swimming in.
Yeah. Well, they claim they got it all cleaned up. They claim they had their first really good microbial bacteria test today. And also they got rid of all the homeless people.
Did they put those toilets there for people to use instead of
No, they took him to some other city. Like that's what they always do. Rounded them all up, threw them in a car, and then took them off to God knows where. But
anyway, I was talking about these toilets in this picture here along the side of the toilets, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. I don't think that's a real picture. I'm not sure. But
I wouldn't bet that those toilets are actually connected to anything.
No, probably
There's no way anybody could fake a picture like that.
No, never. Not with today's technology.
There's no way. They can't do it. They totally can't. Oh, let's see here. Oh, speaking of faking photos.
Photo does not show RFK Jr. eating a dog or goat.
Oh,
well, he just lost some votes.
I'm disappointed.
I thought he did eat a dog.
No, I believe that he said that he did. Somebody might be doing a fake. There we go.
What that is?
It's not a fake picture.
It's not a fake picture. It's a real picture. But what is that of? Is it like a sheep? What is it?
Right. So the original article last week was Vanity Fair rolled something saying that they'd called a vet to look at this picture. Now, the reason why this picture showed up is somebody who is a friend of RFK Jr., but apparently doesn't like him, said that in the context of a conversation they were having about where to go eat in South Korea, he sent them this photo, which made that person think he's eating a dog. And also, they're not that good of friends because he shot it directly over to Vanity Fair.
Right, exactly. We should all have friends like that.
Yeah. So anyway, but he said, so the problem is that he inferred that he was eating a dog, and Vanity Fair contacted a veterinarian that said, you can see a floating ribbon here. I don't know which one of these is floating. That makes it almost guaranteed that it's a dog. Well, it turns out on further review, there's not.
There we go.
A floating ribbon there, actually. Now, I'm not a veterinarian, so I don't see one, but apparently they said within 24 hours, Vanity Fair removed that off its website. And then they went and they checked on the tour, and they actually got in touch with RFK, and they're like, what tour did you go on? And on that tour, they say that they'll provide food, and part of the food is you're going to get this local delicacy called Chilean barbecue. We'll just stop there.
Right.
But this is lamb.
Okay, so I feel vindicated. I got it right. So
yeah, so it is.
I am not an expert on skeletons and barbecue, but just going on size alone, that seems like it's
But you know what you like to eat. So
I know what I like to eat. They put a good mint jelly and stuff like that, and it'll be fine. But RFK's got, he's eating weird things. He's being eaten by weird things.
Yeah, he's got a brain worm.
I mean, he's coming and going, and the whole digestive system. I'm not feeling optimistic about him in so many ways, and so for so many reasons that honestly, eating dog is really far, far down on the list of the problem. It's a problem.
Right. Yeah.
I'm a confirmed American, and no, don't eat your domestic animals, but or at least the ones that you let inside of your house. But as far as it goes, I'm less worried about that than the worm in his brain. The whole thing about vaccines aren't real.
Yeah, the fact that he makes no sense whatsoever. That's kind of a problem.
Yeah, you add it all up, and there's so many other things to be concerned about. So this was number like 16 in the top 20, number 16.
Yeah.
So I shouldn't eat the goats that broke into my house then.
Well, I don't know.
If it breaks into your house, it gets what's coming to it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But if you if you invited it in like a vampire, it's your own fault.
Oh, right. That's right. I get it now. Yes, yes.
That's how it works. Yeah, that's exactly. Those are the rules.
Them's the rules.
Yeah, I didn't vote for it. It's just what they are.
Boeing Starliner set for extended stay at the ISS as engineers on Earth tried to recreate thruster issues. Those guys are never coming home. You know this, right?
Think so. Yeah. They've been up there about 5 weeks now. We've been covering it. It's hard to get it in the mainstream news cycle because the NASA sort of briefings, they've been doing them weekly on Wednesdays. And they're pretty dull because they don't give us any details. But yesterday, they didn't give us the detail. They said, well, we're having a problem. So it's going to be at least 2 more weeks. And they're kind of running into an issue where there's another ship coming up there in early August. Apparently, they can handle that too. But the issue is that on the way up to the space station, 5 of the thrusters failed.
Right.
Maybe there's how many are there? 6?
That's of all the things that you don't want when you're in space.
Yes.
The inability maneuver is pretty far up there on the list.
And 5 thrusters is a lot. So the problem is they can't reproduce it.
Right.
So they think it might happen again if they try to launch it. That's what they're stuck on. It's like, okay.
That's painful.
Yeah, it's bad enough that they're having problems with doors here on Earth, right? But this is
another thing you don't want to lose in space. Doors.
Right. There's so much going on there, and it goes back to the whole thing of people saying the people who ran Boeing used to be engineers and now they're MBAs. And I don't want to castigate on MBAs because I'm sure there are a lot of MBAs who are like, hey, maybe we should make those doors stay, right? But
good call.
Yeah,
there's a lot of them that would say we could save money. We'll get rid of those. We don't need.
It's like, who needs an O-ring? Look
at all the money we could save.
Yeah, exactly. So, and I, the thing is they're up there. I hope they don't have any overdue library books. It's going to be a while. So, yeah. Someone here was, as a former Boeing guy, this is not an unexpected outcome with that spacecraft. Oh, well, that's cheerful. That's good to know.
It's been coming up a lot, as it turns out. Is anybody over Boeing not a whistleblower?
Yay! I'm really happy about that one.
Yeah, John, you're gonna have to start taking Amtrak.
A Boeing whistleblower live on Fark first time.
There we go. We made history again.
We got it from everywhere. Awesome. All right, well, here, let me punt real quick. I lost my doing too many things here. There, got it. All right.
Is there any good news on here?
Oh, it's coming. Well, actually, we got.
I know it is.
Here we go.
What is this?
Oh, look at that. Asking AI to make a hit country song. Yes.
This
is so fantastic.
I don't know who this guy is. Somebody submitted it. It looked pretty funny, and so I listened to it, and it's actually pretty catchy. But this is I'm thinking about starting to make This Week in AI not impressing us.
Right.
There's a lot of material. This in particular is good. So apparently this is a guy who, I'm just guessing, he likes to drum along with songs he's never heard before. So either he or somebody else whipped up this song out of nowhere, and it's a country music song written by an AI.
Right.
And I'm going to put captioning on too, so you can check it out because the lyrics are phenomenally good.
Make a hit country song, Glue Balloons.
Actually, they might have captions up for us anyway. Let's see how it goes. This is awesome.
Good Lord Almighty, I let out a holler. Should have known better, not much of a scholar. And walking through doorways and swinging them shut, cause I slammed that door on my country nuts. I'm seeing the doors, I'm losing air. Sound the alarm, bring me a chair. I'm caught between 2 different rooms. That door just crushed my glue balloons. Oh, sweet Mary, I can't breathe. That door just smashed my chili beans. I'm stuck between, can't go nowhere. I'm blacking out, I'm getting scared.
Everything I wanted out of an AI country song. That's for sure.
Great.
I just asked him to grab a beer. Now he's unconscious on the floor, but there's his pickle in the door. I'm scared to ask if he's all right.
So that's pretty good.
His eyes are red and face is white. I think I'll just leave him alone. Oh, there's my beer, I'm going home.
I think it said, "There's my beer, I'm going home."
Yeah, I think it was "There's my beer, I'm going home." Yeah,
I mean, I like the existential aspect of "There's my fear," but
yeah,
as far as it goes, this is like I said,
yeah.
everything you want out of a artificial intelligence country song.
I mean, I will give it to AI. It stuck to the story of this guy's blue balloons.
I mean, the good news is if you give it a specific enough prompt, it will do what you want it to do. And in the early days of AI, I asked an AI, I think it was Bard, to write me a sestina about the joys of eating uncooked chicken, and it nailed it. You know, it
nice.
got the rhythm, got all the scan, got all that sort of stuff. Now, the problem with this thing, I believe that this there's one or two AI companies that have been doing that are well known for creating these AI songs. They're currently being sued by every music company in the world for scraping, and absolutely you can tell that there's, you know, it's like if you were going to write a mean average country song, that was pretty much how it would go. I mean, lyrics aside, you know, from getting your pickle in the door,
which is brilliant.
Yeah, which is brilliant. I was like, oh my God. But yeah, no, it's very clearly like I have sampled 20,000 country songs, and this is what we got.
Here's a country song. Yeah, they pretty much nailed it. Yeah.
And if you want me to, I'll do another one that sounds just like it.
You want to see another one? Yeah, the other one I got for this week,
a different key, same notes.
Yes.
Another one I got was there's a lot of stuff that allow you to do videos and stuff, and this is interesting. Somebody proposed that gymnastics ought to be the Turing test for AI generated video.
Oh my God, that is horrifying.
I hope nobody in the audience is stripping balls right now.
Yeah, no.
It's not going to work
Oh.
out.
I saw the one that was the what was it? The Tour de France, right?
Oh.
Where there was like an entire wave of bicyclists and stuff, and it's just everything about it is just terrifying. I mean, it does actually look like you're having a nightmare, and this is exactly what you would see in your nightmare.
This does, yeah. Like I said, if anybody's tripping balls right now, sorry about your bad trip.
The good news is that none of this is copyrightable. So if you really like it, you can just yoink it and claim it for your own. What are they going to do? They can't sue you.
I wouldn't claim this for my own.
Are you
Who
sure?
would like this?
I mean, there you go. You know, put on some shrooms.
Yeah, it's horrifying.
That would work out
Thursday night.
Yeah, this is what shrooms looks like. I mean, I don't know.
Oh my God.
Yeah. This hasn't repeated yet, by the way. This is just different scenes, but anyway.
I don't want any of this, and it makes me weird and uncomfortable. So
Yep, me too. That's why we saw this on the show. That's perfect for us.
Yeah.
Let's see. Here we go. Okay, this is our rabbit hole segment, by the way.
Here we go. Redbox owner Chicken Soup for the Soul files for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection.
Right. Whee! You want to kick us off with the obvious question here?
What the hell was Chicken Soup for the Soul doing owning Redbox?
Yeah, exactly. I was like, okay.
So in the very, very early days of the internet, and we're talking like, 1996, 97, 98, there was a fish meal company called Zapato, right? And they took a hard left turn and started doing like content sites on the internet. It was fish meal is one division, and entertainment sites on the internet was the other division. And this feels like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So my thing is like, so I'll flag these little things and I'll be like, boy, this is a really long article. So I'm like, all right, maybe there's some gems down in here. So I read a lot of them, and most of them there's nothing, but every once in a while you find one. So what happened is that I did not know that Chicken Soup for the Soul owned Redbox, but they did.
Yep.
Apparently they owned.
I mean, they bought it. My understanding is that they bought it back when Redbox was about to go under anyway because who owns a DVD player anymore?
Yeah, right.
You know,
Exactly.
so that's that's the thing. And so they bought it real cheap, and they're like, we'll figure out what we're going to do with this later. And the answer was no. I mean, that and the whole chicken soup for the soul business has been on a decline since its heyday. What like 2003 or
something like that. Yeah. So I looked it up.
They've done every iteration of chicken soup for whatever soul that they could. Chicken soup for your cat's soul, you know.
They realize we don't have souls anymore, so there you go.
Yeah, nobody wants our product anymore. So I looked it up, and so to your point, they actually did own a pet food company, and at some point they did so I don't know how this happened, whether or not the pet food company was independent, owned some digital media sites, and then the whole thing got wrapped up or what.
Right.
But they did own a bunch of digital media sites, tons of them, as it turns out. And basically, these guys, the history of these guys is that if it had anything that had nothing to do with their business and no shot at succeeding, they would go out and buy it.
Sure.
And then it would fail.
Yeah.
And then I can't believe they made it 30 years. That was their whole
Step
business.
1, buy. Step 2, question mark, question mark, question mark. Step 3, profit. And that's the magic of private equity, no matter what. You know, it's sort of like, we don't know what we're going to do with it, but we don't know that it won't do something. If we push it enough, maybe that will happen. Yeah. And meantime, we can strip mine it. So
well, I mean that they kind of did actually. Well, it turns out that the previous CEO embezzled a ton of money, which shocker, right?
Oh, that doesn't help.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think they were doing good anyway. But
chicken soup for your bank account. So
right, yeah. That's where it goes. What I found interesting is that this is a little weird side story. So they ended up owning this streaming service called Crackle.
Oh, I know. Yeah. That used to be owned by CBS. And CBS.
And they had it. Sony owned most of it, I think, and then they bought the whole thing back. I mean, it's all convoluted. Well, the reason I know Crackle is really weird. About 10 years ago, one of my kids got malware downloaded on their computer, and it was really weird malware. What it would do is 4:00 in the morning, it would load a browser up, and it would then go on Facebook, and it would click on all the Crackle stuff on Facebook.
Oh, wow. So someone was click farming a particular, was it a particular thing on Crackle, or was it just
everything?
Oh, wow.
Stuff. Yeah. Which is funny because, as I pointed out at the time to friends of mine, I was like, they don't do that for free. You got to pay them. And who's going to pay them? Like Crackle was probably like messing with its audience scores or whatever. So I sent the story to one of my media friends, and they called up and they said they hung up on me when I asked that question.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah.
Oh,
so there you go.
Crackle, rest in peace.
Yeah,
I don't know if they're actually still out there or not. They might be, but for as much of a media footprint that they would have if they are, rest in peace.
Yes, exactly.
You have to check your Roku things you can get, because that's where it was, I think.
Right. Yeah. It's like all those weird channels on Roku that you never ever visit.
Yeah. It's like if you go way down, like page down until it stops. That's where Crackle is.
There was some wild stuff on there. It was pretty cool. A lot of horror channels and stuff of playing just random junk.
Yeah.
So I got another rabbit hole for you. In a completely different direction. Okay. This is weird. I read this whole thing.
Confronting new theory about Olivia Culpo's problematic wedding dress as podcasters debate over misogyny accusations.
I mean, is this another one of those celebrities that my 55-year-old ass has no chance of knowing who it is? Because it sounds like it.
She's American, so that's good. But the podcasters were Australian, so I don't know. I hadn't heard of this chick either, but I do know her husband. We'll get to that in a second. But so the article is really bizarre. So first of all, I like to read the entertainment articles because especially when I don't know who they are, and I'm trying to be like, okay, so what is going on here?
Right.
Yeah. So what's going on here is that Olivia Culpo got married the other day, and here's her wedding dress. They got a picture there. Well, that's not a good one. There's something on Instagram I can't see right now. That's not it.
That's not it.
That's not it.
Well, anyway. lots of dresses, not a whole lot of. I mean, it looks like your basic wedding dress was.
It's problematic somehow.
Problematic. Well, in the dumbest way, as it turns out. So she's a model, in particular, a swimwear model, and two podcasters on Australia were talking about how she shouldn't have done that. She should have let the girls fly or something along those lines because she's naked all the time anyway. And then, like I said, we got this.
What? So they're complaining because she has
wedding dress.
This is what she usually wears.
I mean,
so I'm like, okay, but she's getting married, right?
Yeah,
and so
yeah.
it got back to her, and she was like, I like being covered up because my husband likes me being covered up, is what she said.
Oh, okay. Well,
yeah.
I mean,
so that kind of went where you thought it would. Then they were speculating like it was a misogynistic, and she's like, no, I'm getting married.
yeah, no,
I don't wear clothes any other time in my life. Like, leave me alone.
Right. No, you should, you know, here's a fun idea. You know, when you're actually doing a wedding, have participation on both sides of the aisle so that everybody is happy. A perfectly cromulent wedding dress that looks like something like Jackie Kennedy would have worn. I don't see why anybody would complain. It's not your wedding anyway.
Yeah,
right.
Let her have the day.
Kanye West's girlfriend. That's
right.
The dress like.
Yeah, it's you know, it's the whole thing of getting really worked up about what people who you don't know and will never meet where is, I mean, bless your heart. I mean,
exactly. It's like, well, so there's another zinger. So I was like, her husband is I gotta look, it's Christian. What's his last name? Anyway, he's the star running back for the San Francisco 49ers.
Okay.
He was on my fantasy team last year. He did great, by the way. That guy crushed it.
Well, that's really the most important thing to come out of this story is that, you know, there may have been a controversy, but as a fantasy football player,
get this guy. The draft is coming up.
every year I do a fantasy football league with my friends, and I always have the computer picked for me, and I only swap out when there's a bye week. I won my league last year, and they were furious.
They're so mad. They're like, dude, what is going on? I was like, well, you know,
it's like, you know, it's sort of like, you know what it is. The computer knows, just like the index fund knows. You know, don't speculate with the stock market. Get an index fund and let the computer just pick something that's going to be reasonable. Yeah. You'll do fine.
You'll do fine. That's all you need to know about that.
And so anyway, she's married now, so stop looking at her.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's kind of her job, so we can't. But so anyway, the bigger thing is this. So check it. Okay, we got Daily Mail, right? Let's recap. Okay, Daily Mail. 2 podcasters mad about somebody's wedding dress, and they live in Australia. She's in the United States. She's married to a great fantasy football guy. Look at how long this goddamn article is, and like, why was this ever written?
I mean, it's a bingo card of who gives a shit. Right?
Yeah, you just start down with nobody. If you can reach this stage, it's like, you lost me, man. So
I mean, the dress looks nice. Someone was mentioning, it's like, I think the dress looks beautiful. It does. It's a lovely dress as far as we can see it. You know, good for her. Good for them.
And here's the podcast in case you want to listen to the whatever these guys talk about. I don't.
Oh well, I'll be putting that on my list.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, right at the bottom, next to eating dogs. Oh, let's see here.
At your wedding.
Yeah, exactly.
Elderly person has used a live hand grenade as a hammer for 20 years, and there's a video. Okay. That don't make it right.
Yeah. No. On the other hand, there's a legitimate bone to pick with the manufacturer.
Yeah.
As far as it goes.
That's a bad hammer. I mean, I would just get a hammer, you know.
How do you not know that doesn't look like a, you know, classic potato masher grenade? Don't. I mean, I'm not the world's most up on all the weapons that are used, but it seems pretty clear that is not your basic hammer.
Yeah, like if you hand that to me, I'd be like, huh? Because what is this? So it's interesting. The woman had been using it for 20 years, but what happened was that local construction workers, so she was 90, and local construction workers nearby had just seen her outside hammering stuff with the hand grenade. Eventually, one of them asked to take a look at it, and they're like, "Oh my god, it's a live hand grenade!" Didn't
How
explode.
Did they know it was live? Like, did they test it?
Yeah, they tested it later. It exploded. Yeah,
she tested it for 20 years.
I was gonna say, you know, here's the thing: is like nobody gave her just like a hammer. I mean, somewhere along the way, maybe just as a gift. I see you using a hand grenade. Maybe use an actual hammer instead. No, it's free.
Yeah,
let's swap.
Maybe her neighbors hated her.
Yeah.
Well, she said she used to use it to make dinner too. She used to grind up. Not only was she hammering nails around the house with it, but
she was using it as a pestle too.
Yeah. Because multi-use tool, right?
That woman needs to buy a lottery ticket because her luck is phenomenal.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
So she still have it then? They still letting her use it?
No, they took it away from her. They're like, stop.
Okay.
You're gonna blow somebody up.
No. I mean, I don't think I have tools that are 20 years old as it is. So maybe that's what it was. It's like it's worked so far.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Ironically, she actually used it as a potato.
I mean, maybe she thought it might be a hand grenade, but if it didn't blow up in the first couple of years, is that ever going to happen?
Right, exactly. It's like the law of averages eventually applies. Well, it still hasn't gone off, so I guess it's. And after, I guess, maybe a certain age, you're less concerned about it. It'd be like, I'm 90.
I'm 90.
Yeah.
I hope it goes off. Save me a lot of trouble. It's just like,
oh my God.
Yeah, it'll fix everything.
Well, I'm glad she's okay.
Yes.
Here we go. But
warning, a little tequila up the butt will get you arrested.
But a lot of tequila up the butt will get you celebrated. What?
So here's the thing in the background. So for whatever reason in Georgia, this couple decided to, at this Mexican restaurant, which I'm sure they love the publicity for this, film themselves butt chugging margaritas, like pictures of them.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the kicker on this story, like, that's weird enough, right? And normally, like, my problem is that I've been doing Fark for 25 years, and if that was all there was, then I'd be like, well, I mean,
that's just Thursday.
100 times a week, man. Like,
yeah.
So
Thursday.
There was a twist. Thursday. Yeah. The twist was is that they got arrested because they called the police department because somebody other than them posted the video online, and it was starting to go viral, and they wanted the cops to get them to take it down.
I mean, if you're okay, so they were in a restaurant where other people were in the restaurant. I am 100% not victim blaming. They're absolutely correct. No one else should have been posting that.
Yeah,
but
also,
I mean, if you're gonna butt chug a margarita, that is a private sort of thing.
Usually
between you and your bartender, and you do it at home, or at least you do it in the speakeasy where the cameras aren't allowed.
Yeah,
right?
like maybe 5 or 10 bystanders who wanted to be there for this.
Right, exactly. The ones who paid for it, right? Yeah,
guys.
Exactly.
I've been in a lot of Mexican restaurants, and not once have I seen a sign that says "Do not butt chug."
I mean, this is a perfect example of, rules are made in blood, or in this case, in margarita mix, that you don't, there's so many things that you don't think you have to say,
right,
until you have to say them. And,
here's another
one. I mean, we've never had anybody butt chug coffee, but we have a lot of signs around the shop.
Yeah,
don't do this, don't do that. I'm like, something happens, I'm like, well, here goes another
sign.
Exactly why you do it. Now, the thing is that, and don't ask me how I know this because I don't actually drink alcohol, but if you want to absorb alcohol into your bloodstream really quickly, then going up the back path is a good way to do it. But
you said you don't drink alcohol, so
yeah, right. This is
technically
loophole.
Yeah. You found me out, Bill. It's a very exciting day for all of us to have learned this about me.
Yes, it is. It's so exciting.
But yeah, no. If I were going to do a butteriga, I would not be doing it at the local restaurant.
Maybe the front lawn.
Maybe the front lawn.
Yeah, sure.
It's a big enough lawn.
Extinction of the dinosaurs paved the way for grapes.
Ooh, I mean, totally reasonable exchange, don't you think?
Yeah. I mean, we got oil and alcohol from these guys. This is great.
Yeah.
So the article doesn't actually answer this question. It's also quite long. And the reason why, but their circumstantial evidence is that we in the fossil record we have dinosaurs, and then we got asteroid, and then after that we got grapes. So,
okay,
aliens.
That's possible.
That is the most tenuous possible connection, and this is with the Smithsonian. I'm certainly hoping they extend that out. It's sort of like this is like saying, did the extinction of the dinosaurs paved the way for Real Housewives of Atlanta. I mean,
Disney World.
Yes,
yes,
in one sense, absolutely it did. And thank you, T-Rex, for taking that hit for us so that we could have that. On the other hand, no, not at all.
It's not really related, I don't think.
It's not really related at all. And also, of course, birds are dinosaurs, so
and they eat grapes.
Yeah, they eat grapes. Don't feed them to your dog, though. This is the serious message that I want to convey in this whole
sounds like
episode.
a story.
It's not grapes, not good for your dogs. Don't feed them to them. It's just same with raisins. So I can't.
We did this experiment here at my house. We have the chickens, which are dinosaurs, and last year we fed them a pumpkin, and now in the area they used to be in, there's pumpkins growing.
How'd that happen?
Yeah. So
the magic of farming.
That seed dispersal happens in that way.
Who could have predicted?
Who could have possibly have known?
Feed them grapes next time, maybe.
Right, exactly. You could you could
feed
have
them money and see if I can get more money.
Feed them money, feed them meth and see if that comes back to your barn.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Meth chickens. Yeah. That may not be a good idea, but I was what I had at the moment.
I'll try it. Read the furious text the Heritage Foundation sent Fury Hacking Collective Sledge Sec after breach. They had a
look. I'm not going to lie to you. If the Furry Hacking Collective helped save democracy, I will every day after the election get down on my knees and thank the good Lord above for the Furry Hacking Collective.
You're wearing your furry suit as well.
I will proudly wear a furry suit if that is what it takes to make this election go the way I want it to go. But these texts are hilarious.
They are really good. So what happened was we've had these guys on before. In fact, several times over the last 5 years or so. They the last guys they hacked was NATO.
Right.
So they're a pretty good hacker collective, as it turns out.
Right.
This time they got the Heritage Foundation. Now there's some debate as to what they actually got. Now they did drop a lot of it. They said they got 200, gigabytes, terabytes. Doesn't matter.
Right.
They released what they said was interesting. The rest is just silly. That's what they said. They said it was silly. The Heritage Foundation is arguing that they got only a copy of a blog that they used to have a few years ago, which may be the true, but people that have been coming through it have been saying things like, man, there's a lot of Chinese IP addresses in this thing.
Yeah.
How strange.
No, the thing about the Heritage Foundation is it talks a really good game for a bunch of dudes who look like they haven't been punched enough. I mean, this is the thing. It's like it's up to the liberals to decide it will be bloodless. It's like what makes you think the liberals are? If it's coming to that, what makes you think the liberals are going to say? Going to be like, oh, bloodless. You wanted it bloodless?
Oh, you should have told us. Why did you say something? Jeez.
Yeah, no, we thought. I mean, you're going to go that direction of things. And the other thing is like. I just, I'm not, look, I'm 5'7" and I get winded going up the stairs, and I'm pretty sure I can take the average Heritage Foundation dude.
I believe you're probably right. They have a copy of the text. They weren't texting, but they were talking over probably something. Anyway, so the guy texted this out, including with Eminem lyrics, which I forget what song this is, but it doesn't matter because this man is dumb. But here's the text of the conversation they had. I'm going to try to, because I always screw this up here. All right, come on. Oh, damn it. Well, I went on X. Sorry, guys. Anyway, here you go. So this is a great conversation. Now, basically, he does the usual thing where it's like the guy who's totally not gay threatens to pound them in the ass, as one heterosexual would. That's the first thing I think of when I'm yelling at somebody. I'm like, I'm going to pound you in the ass. Actually, I knew somebody who does that. He doesn't know he's gay, and I think that's why he does it.
The bestiality is a weird sin. I mean, here's the if you spend a whole lot of your time saying how dare you do these things in this environment which I never have heard of and yet seem to have intimate knowledge for, I'm not saying you're a member of that group because he's but
he sure know a lot about it for some reason. That's weird.
He's certainly spent a lot of time on FetLife. This is knowledge that you don't just come by in your prayer session. Right.
No, and in fact, to your point, the last part of the conversation I want to get out there because it's not this. I'm hiding it off screen because it's great. I had to ask my son this. I was like, "What is this?" And he's like, "Why are you asking?" So the last question he asked was this:
"What's your opinion on Vor?" Oh,
so I was like, "Storm, what is Vor?" And he goes, "Why? Why do you want to know?" I was like,
"Why are you asking me like you think I would know? Because I do not know this thing absolutely."
No, he did.
No, of course he did. I mean, don't we all?
Well, I didn't. I was like,
you know, I realize this is not the light in which you wish to be cast upon.
Oh, that's fine.
But Drew, of all the people that I know,
right,
you would be the one who would know what Vor.
You think? Isn't it reassuring though? You think about it.
I don't know what it is.
Right, there you go. See, yeah. Well, there's a reason why you would know. So it's basically so what Storm said, and John, you can correct me because
don't put me on the spot.
Oh well, I mean, you're the one who thinks I
special guest.
Like, well, if you got some information, the only thing I know about this because I'm never googling this. Nobody Google this. Don't do it. He said it is a sexual fantasy of swallowing somebody whole. And he said not eating them in little bites, but like, and then they're in your belly moving around. And I was like, that's sexual? And he goes, yeah.
I mean,
right?
I mean, that's a very specific instance of
there's more.
I mean, you know, here's the thing, you know, all the stuff that a certain very tall actor was accused of being super excited about with their partner a couple years back. That was all Vor, at least Vor adjacent. There's a lot of eating going on, and yeah.
Oh, this is a good point. Was that a scene in American Gods? Was it?
No. If they're thinking of the same scene I'm thinking of, no, that's an entirely different thing entirely, and no, it is not related to Richard Gere. No, Vor is very, you know, it's cannibalism adjacent. So as far as it all goes, but you know, ultimately, here's the thing: is when it comes right down to it, who would you rather spend time with, a furry hacker collective or anybody in heritage? Yeah, and
easy call.
100 times out of 100, and twice on Sunday. Furry hacker collective.
Yep.
God bless them. Mm-hmm. God bless America.
Yes, God bless the furry hacker collective. That's
I will.
Doing the Lord's work.
Yeah,
doing the Lord's work. Oh, let's see here. We're down to 2 more. All right, this one's good. All right, I'm gonna play this video, but you read the headline first.
Do I have to? Hamster found in suspect's pants following Ohio store break-in.
Yeah, Ohio again. What's going on?
Here we go. Usually it's Indiana.
Ohio, yeah. So there's a little video. I'm not gonna play all of it because I watched all of it, and it's funny, but the first minute isn't. Where are we going here? Back up. Right, here we go.
You're just gonna go to the good part.
Yeah.
on my resume that I led Operation Gerbil.
Yeah.
A resume-worthy rescue mission here, Operation Gerbil. Caught on camera. Officers saved several animals after they say a man broke into Petland near Hilliard and released them.
Before we show you, we want to let you know the animals you'll see in this video are all okay.
Yeah, sure.
They live to tell the tale of this bizarre break-in spree.
Oh, God, there is
using animals? Oh, there are gerbils in there. Yeah, definitely animal abuse.
What the heck? I got a gerbil.
I got a gerbil.
That's not a gerbil. That's a hamster.
It's a hamster.
Multiple gerbils in his pants.
I mean, they're going for gerbil just because
Recovering rodents from
legends,
because of Lemmy Winks.
For your safety, is there a gerbil inside you?
So how did you end up
Anyway, that's the best part.
You're gonna have to get a search warrant if you want to find the gerbil inside me.
Okay, you know, so the thing about rodents is that they have incessantly growing teeth that they have to gnaw.
That's true. Yeah.
Something. Otherwise, the teeth grow too big and then they die or something like that. Why would you put any creature that has that on their resume as a thing that they do anywhere near your pants?
Yeah, we don't know. I mean, the short version of what happened is that they found he basically went to the strip mall and kind of busted up all of them. He went to a bar first and he threw a rock through the window that had blood on it, but only the rock had blood on it, which means his hand was already bloody when he threw the rock. And then he let all the puppies out.
Right.
Pet store, which they got them all back though, so they were good. They all wanted to go home. Looking at my puppies, like, hell yeah, man, this never happens at night. This is great. And then he went to the shoe store and he sold some shoes, and then they found him sleeping on a bench at the end of the strip mall.
Right.
Seems
with the gerbils in his pants.
That was all a crime of opportunity, it seems.
Yeah.
And his name is Matthew Pancake.
Matthew Pancake. Yes, exactly. A totally real name.
It's not. Yeah. It's. See, this is the point where, speaking as a professional novelist, this is the point where your editor would be like, "Is that really the name you're going to go with?"
Yeah, come on, that's terrible writing.
Right, exactly. You gotta, what were you having breakfast when you wrote this story? So
yeah,
no.
Exactly. Also, he was wearing like a tiger print onesie.
Have you heard these guys?
Let's see here.
Leave the hamsters out of it. God knows they only live for 3 years anyway. So in their lifetime, that was like a week in his pants.
Yeah, right? That's too long.
Yeah. That's way too long.
Too many days. So anyway, they arrested him.
He's taking a snooze there.
Yeah, he immediately passed out, which probably explains a whole bunch.
But he had a busy night. There's no doubt about it.
He stayed up really late, and there you go. So there we go. That's all that happened this week.
Well, good. I'm glad we ended on that note.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, thank goodness nothing else of note happened not at all. No. Not
my world.
Moving right along.
Yeah. Oh, we got a request for no good news. The good news, there was one, they cured lupus. Like, no joke, Google it. They cured lupus. So that's
that, and they had the article where 100% of people taking a new drug for HIV it was 100% blocked. So that was great. So between those two things, lupus and AIDS, we're making some real good strides.
Yeah, and also Phil Plate's newsletter informed me that the Chinese have built more solar power than the rest of the world has combined, and they're still going.
Good for them.
Yeah.
Good for them.
So there you go. That's pretty good because they're putting a lot of carbon in the air. Not that we're not, but they are too.
Right, exactly.
We can slack off now then, because they're going to.
We have to close that solar gap. We cannot let the communists beat us to energy independence.
Yeah. Or we can just burn more coal. What do you think?
I mean, either way.
Yeah, either way, one of those.
Keep burning coal; it won't matter.
Yeah, yeah. So there's your good news. ALS next. Actually, there was an ALS article last week. I'll have to go find it. I think there was. I'm getting it confused because it wasn't ALS, it was Alzheimer's, so that's why I'm getting confused.
Oh yeah. I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah. They said they found the mechanism. Anyway, but yeah, so there was some good news, but it wasn't funny. It was a problem.
Right.
There was politics.
Not fun.
And then the dog.
It's easier to make fun of bad news, that's for sure.
Yeah, right. That's kind of the idea. Yeah. So they try to keep it politics free, but every once in a while, somebody eats a dog, and that goes on the pile because can't really let that go by. So awesome though.
Right
so
on.
yeah, John, thanks for jumping in, man. I really appreciate it because
happy to do it. Thanks for having me.
We'll have to get you back because people like doing the show because it's like no prep. It's like just show up, rattle for hours.
What happened? I don't know. Let's do it.
Yeah, and then you'll be wide awake, so it's a really good time. Like I go do coding after this. So
I go to band practice after this.
Yeah,
that's
it. Nice.
23 jobs or whatever it is.
Yeah.
They'll work 100 hours a day.
Yeah.
I really do. Some of it's fun though, so it's not all for nothing.
Well, thank goodness for that. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. I need a vacation.
So you're getting call-outs from folks. So
thank you very much. I'm glad you like it. I hope you like the novel that comes out next year. It's called When the Moon Hits Your Eye. The moon turns to cheese because
Well, I mean, there you go. Yeah, without running jokes is like things that the Trump could have done that you would believe or not believe, and one of them was did Trump think that we need to get back to the moon to get all the cheese? And it turns out, is that real or not? And the answer is, boy, it could have been, right?
Yeah, it's like I don't know, and what's more important, I don't want to know if it was true or not. I would rather live in ignorance of it.
Well, the other stuff he did, like trying to trade Puerto Rico for Greenland, or Sharp being in Alabama to make his hurricane forecast correct. I mean, all the other stuff was just as weird. So that's why that's such a hard.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he did stare directly at an eclipse. So again, bless his heart.
Yep, exactly. Bless his heart, as they say in the South, and it means something.
For those that might not know, John is known best for DJing Drew's birthday party last year.
That's true.
Yes,
exactly.
That is.
Yeah.
And he wrote some books, several books.
Yeah,
he wrote some books too. Yeah,
John Scalzi, professional. I am the world's.
He's really good.
World's foremost Hugo winning DJ.
Yeah, that's an easy one because there's not even a close second. Damn good. We're trying to get you down for Fark 25 too. We'll see how that goes.
We'll see how that goes. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, if I'm in the country, we'll have to see.
Yeah, because you get busy, so selling all those things.
Yeah,
it's good. Well, thanks, man. Thanks for coming. And you got a heart out of 5. And look, we made it.
Yay!
We did it. It's goddamn magic. So we're gonna go out with some kind of do something you want to have frozen on the closing thing because I'm going to shut it off as soon as we figure that out.
I don't have any. I got a broken Christmas ornament I can hold.
There you go. Perfect. All right. We're out here.